Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com. Hey everyone, it's Ivan with kitbadger.com. Out here today to basically share someone else's carbine setup, that being my buddy Jack, who's the director over at Thunder Ranch.
All right, so Ivan asked me to kind of break down how I generally set up rifles. This isn't like my main rifle or anything like that. This is just one I'm doing some testing and stuff on, but it's typically how I set mine up. So I'm always running a 2-point sling. This one happens to be a Spiritus sling that they don't make anymore. They have a new one coming out that is out that I haven't had my hands on yet, but this is the old SierraTac model that I really like. Again, 2-point, I run it around on this side because that's preferential for me, and then I try to get it out as far as I can on this other side, right? So it gives me just more stabilization for the rifle. And then that may vary depending on what we're doing or what's going on. I like a standard safety, just a mil-spec GI safety. I think that's preferential over just about anything else. I haven't found one that I liked any better. I don't really worry about the ambi stuff because I know how to use the gun. So if you know how to use it, you don't need all that kind of crap. So, but whatever, each to each his own. I got a good buttstock on here. It's Magpul. I've got an ambi charging handle. I do like those for a lot of different reasons, especially if I'm running a scope or something like that. I always have irons on the gun whenever I have them, and right now I have cats all over me, but it's no big deal. I like to have irons on the gun. Not that I think I'm like gonna quickly dump this off and like pop up my irons or anything, but I've seen many things break, and I just like to have the redundancy to have an extra sighting system on the gun if I can. Obviously this has a Trijicon 1-10 on it. It's not mine, they just sent it to me. A friend of mine is one of the dudes there and he wanted me to check it out. So far I like it. And it happens to have a RMR on the top, which I think is a good idea to either have a 12 o'clock or an offset 45 just for different kind of situations, but you know, passive aiming and night vision and things like that. Moving forward, well, and then people go, well, how do you get that off? So generally a 1/2-inch drive, if you just take a 1/2-inch wrench and cut it off, and then you can stuff it up in the pistol grip of many of them, like a Magpul pistol grip, or you can take a socket, 1/2-inch socket, and put that on there, and with a small like a wrench bar, you can put that on there and just drop them off. So it's very easy. It doesn't really add any weight to the gun, and it gives me the ability to do maintenance and stuff in the field. Moving forward from there, I like to retain the sling on the gun when I can. I came from law enforcement background, so jumping out of a patrol car and getting the sling hung up on the computer or the freaking seat belt or anything like that was a no-go. So I like to have it kind of just stowed away like this. So this has a Mag Sentry Strap on it. So all I have to do is just pull it. It's got a magnet on it. It flops out of the way, and then I can retain it really easily if I need to put the gun back in the car or whatever. So moving forward from there, you'll notice that this is very far back. It's just there as a placekeeper to get it out of the way. I was running it with a maul in a different configuration. I just haven't moved it back, so no big deal there. This happens to be an HRF, I don't remember what the hell it's called, but anyhow, it's like an angled thing, so I kind of like it a lot, and it has a mod button on it, which is okay. Not a real big fan of pressure pads or anything like that, but this just happens to have it with the setup that I was running. If you do run wires, I like to have wire retention of some sort. This happens to be an Arson machine that's just very simple. It clips into the Picatinny rail and then gives you some security for your line here, your cord. Moving forward, this is a Modlite OKW dual fuel. I like these a lot. We run a lot of Modlites, a lot of Surefires, and a lot of Cloud Defensive. My preference with these is that you get more juice out of the 18650 batteries and stuff like that, but if all that fails and goes down, my batteries don't get charged or whatever, I can always switch over to CR123s, which are readily available, and I carry a bunch of, and I can change them out on the fly. No big deal. That said, I like redundancy on the tail caps because I've seen these switches fail quite a bit. They get banged up or, you know, beat up on the range or severed. I like the ability to override that somehow. So it has, I think it's a DS07 switch on the Surefire, or the Surefire switch, where I can manually override that in the event that this gets pulled out or ripped apart or something like that. As far as the iron sights go, Magpul MBUS Pros are what I run. I'm not sponsored by Magpul or anything like that. That's just, I found them to be very durable and reliable and easy to adjust. Moving forward from there, we've got Suppressor. I like running suppressors on guns. I think you should too. If you can own one, buy one. You should do it now while it's easy to get. This one happens to be a Dead Air Sierra 5. I've had really good luck with it. It's been tough for me, and I like the ability to take the can off quickly, so I generally carry a pair of leather gloves in addition to shooting gloves in case I have to remove it if we're doing like night vision stuff and we're worried about thermal signature and whatnot. Moving back to here, you'll notice it doesn't have scope caps on it. I like scope caps on things. This one just didn't happen to have them when he sent it down to me, so not a big deal there. You could also put an ARD on the front or something like that, but that's a whole nother conversation. This has a Gissele trigger in it. I like Gissele triggers, they're nice. There's other ones out there. Witness marks. So this one does not have witness marks, but when you see Colton's gun, he's got all the witness marks on his that I did not put on mine. So he does a really good job of going through it. Again, this is just a gun that's being set up for a couple of different things and testing things, but witness mark things that can help you in the event stuff that starts to come loose. So for instance, we had just rough mounted this yesterday, got it zeroed and hand tightened it to test the thumb screws, and it worked its way loose. So at a glance, the shooter would have been able to, we had a student that was shooting it, would have been able to look down and see that the scope mount was coming loose. So witness mounts, I think, or witness marks, I think are very helpful. Other than that, that's it. This Abbey charging handle happens to be a Arrow Breach. I like those a lot, but there's some other ones out there. I don't like the big, super extendy ones, but this is about the perfect size. So I think it has a Reptilia QD mount on it. I think it's a good mount, and then Arisaka mount for the flashlight on the other side. And I like Arisaka a lot. I use them on most of my stuff. So anyhow, that's it. So this is how I generally set guns up. We do a lot of testing and moving stuff around, and let's swap this scope and put it on there and do different things. So it's not perfect, but as a general rule, this is kind of a baseline of how my stuff would be set up, absent like the pressure pad and a couple different things and the lack of witness marks. But in a nutshell, this is kind of it. It's got a good sling on it, it's got good sights on it, it's got the ability to have redundancy should I need it, it's got a good white light on there, and everything is like set up on there properly, tightened down, torque to spec, all that kind of stuff that is very, very important. So it's the little things. We see a lot of people come here with very good equipment that they didn't put together correctly, and those are where the problems lie. So having tools on the gun, having some batteries on the gun if you can, up in the pistol grip or something like that, can be very helpful to you, especially if you're heavily battery dependent. So anyhow, we see a lot of stuff go down, and we do a lot of testing on stuff. So this is kind of a baseline for me.
I'm always kind of curious, kind of the how and why people end up setting up their guns the way they do. Largely, you end up finding kind of commonalities that a lot of people find their way to, as far as like, hey, this is I think what right looks like. But cool seeing Jack's kind of setup. Granted, it is like a lot of my stuff, honestly, kind of in flux in that he will get new things in to test, put in time with, see how they do, more or less review things for his own knowledge as well as to share with the classes there. And with that, the setup changes, but largely it's also the same. So an optic will swap, but you're still probably having some low power variable, or this light will change, but you still have a white light. All these different little variables, but yeah, pretty cool rifle setup. And if you're curious, there'll be links down below. You can check all that stuff out. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.